So the fifth team that I'll be previewing for this 2026 year's IPL is the Delhi Capitals. And Delhi obviously just missed out on qualifying last time. I mean, in terms of position, they finished fifth. But I feel like they kind of had a good. I mean, they obviously had a great start to the tournament. They had, I think, won five on the trot, and they lost one after that, and I think they won one or two again, not two probably, one again, and then that game against Mumbai where they were, that Karun Nair inning, and then all of a sudden the game just changed and they lost, and from that I think it went completely downhill for them, and uh, it didn't feel like they would perform as well as they did at the start of the tournament. When I looked at the team, I didn't think they would do that well. Obviously, it was a decent team, but I mean losing out. I mean Axar Patel as captain, KL Rahul coming into the side, we didn't know how exactly they were going to perform last year. So I think like it is like it's obviously uh, some areas had some weaknesses that they had to kind of overcome. But I think they've done pretty well in terms of the auction. I think they've gotten some good players. Obviously, they had one big trade. I mean, it was not talked about enough because Jadeja, Samson, Karan वो उस पे ही सबसे ज़्यादा covering था. But Nitish Rana they got from Rajasthan and they gave away Donovan Ferreira. I personally feel like Donovan Ferreira was a very good player to have. I don't know why they kind of got rid of him. I think he would have done well in this team. He's playing. I mean, for South Africa, he hasn't had those kinds of numbers, but when he's played in the SA20 for Joburg Super Kings or whenever whatever he's done in domestic and league cricket, I think he's done well. So I felt like it was kind of a good. They had a good player that I feel I mean, all these he's been in the IPL. He was there in Rajasthan. Before when he came to Delhi, now he's gone back to Rajasthan. But uh, I mean, he's been there, but he hasn't played much because he's not gotten opportunities to play in the 11. And I think because of that, I felt like this was probably the year where he would have probably announced himself that he's a good player that is there in world cricket right now because he's playing well in the SA20 as well. So I think it could have been, and he bowls a little, he can keep wickets. So I think everything a complete package kind of a player that I feel like they missed out on, by letting him go to Rajasthan. In return, they got Nitish Rana. I don't have anything to say against him, but I think Delhi probably has. I mean, after the trade, both the teams obviously, when you do a trade, you both the teams think that they've come out with the better deal. But if you had to ask me, I think Rajasthan walked away with a better deal because Ferreira, I mean, he fits their system as well perfectly. They didn't really need Nitish Rana, and I think Ferreira is kind of a player that I feel like was I mean, it's a kind of a profile that is good to have for any team. So I think Delhi probably for that reason. But I think the thing is कि उनको टॉप ऑर्डर में शायद से कोई तो ऐसा प्लेयर चाहिए था नंबर 3 पे जो एक्सपीरियंस है थोड़ा सा is played the IPL for a few years and so that somewhere there and as a left here as well. I think for that reason I think they thought that deal was needed for them. But yeah, I mean nothing bad in that, but I think it's still Rajasthan who did better in that trade. Uh, so yeah, that was their start. After that, in the auction they bought quite a few players. I think the key ones being they got Pathum Nissanka, Ben Duckett, for an opening option players. Nissanka obviously, I mean he's been great for Sri Lanka in T20s when he's played. I think he's their best player and I think it was time that that was recognized and he got picked. I think 4 odd crores they paid for him. So that tells you that he will be an important player in the team. Uh, I think Duckett as well. He plays, quite aggressive cricket for England across formats. So I think he's for that reason probably brought in as a backup. I don't know. He could be someone that it really depends. It's one of them that I think is opening. Um, yeah. Then after that they got Miller as well. Now, if you really talk about Miller, I think he's become a little more injury prone. He's kind of on his decline in his career, obviously with age and everything, and the numbers have not been that good. He still gets picked for South Africa. He's at the World Cup. Stubbs is missed out and Rickleton's missed out, but Miller's still there. He's gotten injured, I think, right now in the SA20s. I read somewhere Ferreira as well has gotten injured, but because of that, I feel like Miller I mean, now probably the role that Ferreira would have played if he would have stayed is what Miller is going to play. I think the role of the finisher. So obviously, lots of experience. He's played in the IPL for about 13 years. So there's a lot of experience there, and international cricket as well. He's been playing for that long, so obviously he's a great asset to have in that sense. But if you really think the way his form has been, and in general injuries and all that, if you look in that, I think probably I feel like Pereira they should have probably kept. But yeah, coming back to what they've done at the auction, Miller they got Prithvi Shaw. I mean, I was happy that he got a buyer and was Delhi itself where he's played all his IPL cricket. So I think I don't know if he'll get a chance to play. He might at some point, but uh, I think it's a good thing that he's gotten that opportunity because after whatever's happened, he's gone and played well in domestic and scored runs. So I think they've respected that and they've got him back. I mean, at the accelerated round, one of them is when they got him. So I'm happy for him that he's finally got back into the IPL because I mean, if you look, Kuski, jo saath, jo batchmates, you can say the people who played with him in under 19, तुम बोलो जो players आए हैं वहां से, शुभमन गिल, Abhishek Sharma, you look at where they are right now. So I think it's sort of like उनको comparison agar tum karoge to Prithvi Shaw was probably the biggest star at that point of time, and since then to now the kind of difference it has made. Shubman Gill is captaining India, across ODI and tests. Abhishek Sharma is playing extremely well for India in T20 cricket, number one batsman in ICC. तो वो कहाँ पे पहुंच गए और पृथ्वी शॉ was probably considered the most talented player that came out from that under 19 batch, captain of the winning side. So I think I mean, obviously he's been just bought for base price, but I'm happy that he's gotten his opportunity back instead of, the way he was going unsold. Finally, he's got a buyer. Again, like I said, I don't know if he'll play, but that is what it is. The other purchases that they've made that are big are they've got two fast bowlers, foreign fast bowlers, and Kyle Jamieson. That was the last pick of the entire auction, I think, and Lungi Ngidi from South Africa, I think, and uh, they've got four fast bowlers. I think is it Jamieson, Ngidi, Chameera, yeah, these three, and obviously Mitchell Starc, foreign fast bowlers. That out of which Starc is obviously playing, and I don't know if they have a spot for any of the others. So I didn't understand why they went and bought in three other foreign fast bowlers because if you look at the foreign players, I think they don't really have that much spots, those many spots to kind of have, put in the team. But yeah, I think they've done that, and their biggest buy, I think that kind of was will be talked about now is Aqib Nabi from Jammu Kashmir. He's gotten picked fast bowler. He's I think close to 30 or something. But yeah, I mean he's played in the domestic setup for a long time. So he's a kind of an experienced player in there over there. So I think it'll be he's been waiting for this. If you watched, I went and watched and the way his highlights and what his career story. I saw one of his interviews somewhere and he kind of had always said that was it was a dream for him to kind of he's watched IPL for a long time and he wanted to play and I think he got a big buy from Delhi. So obviously I think so that was their entire auction. I think after that I think the team again like I said it's not that I think they've tried to fix a few issues here and there like bringing in Miller to kind of get a finisher because last time finisher mein thoda sa problem that they were playing Stubbs lower down the order. Ashutosh obviously had one or two good games but apart from that not much. Vipraj was being used with the bat, he scored some runs but again so I think they wanted some experience there in that finishing department. That's why they've got Miller and I don't think that's a like it's a bad deal or something. But yeah, I think if Miller can play somewhere close to what he can play, or we've seen him bat at his prime, anywhere close to that would be a little high expectations to have from him right now. But if he plays as good as he can, anything close to that, I think it will be a great, deal for Delhi. Uh, like their best 12, in my opinion, look something like I think KL Rahul last. I mean, he was playing in the middle order. He came to bat at three. It was kind of all over the place. I think finally he might be, settled down as an opener now because I think that is his best position in T20 cricket. He can come and play flamboyant cricket. You've got in the middle order now. You don't really need him to bat at number four, number five. So I think KL Rahul should open, and I am starting with Nissanka because they have that. It really depends on a few things, and I'll get to that later. I think Pathum Nissanka is being picked for 4 crores, and I think that tells you that they want to kind of have him over there. One thing that I just want to say about this is probably the one weakness that I can identify is that both the openers are not extremely aggressive. I mean, Rahul can be, but we've not seen that kind of a Rahul in a long time. So I think both the openers are probably a little slow, and that's one area that I think is a little concerning. But if one of them can get off to a flyer, if KL Rahul plays again, I think each and every time I've talked about KL Rahul in any videos, I've said the same thing. What he needs right now is probably being told that you just go out there and play aggressively. Make most use of the power play, and we don't want you to play 50, 60 balls. We don't need that. We need you to do what not a lot of people can do. Power play may just, I mean, obviously a lot of players do maximize the power play, but the way KL Rahul can bat, and obviously he can play longer innings, but it is not important that he plays with the idea and with the intention of playing it long, and that he kind of has to play till the 20th over. So you just walk in and you've decided that you're going to bat till the 20th over. And that's not how T20 cricket is played now. It's changing, it's evolving. Everybody's trying to adapt to that. Teams who were not ready to adapt have been forced to adapt. So I think you don't need a player at the top of the order to come and play 20 overs for you now. So I think KL Rahul needs to be told that you go out there, because we've got middle order players. We've got some experience there now with Miller. Axar Patel has played in the middle order. The Stubbs, there are players there. So Rahul does not need to worry about how the middle order will fare and whether it is good enough to get to a score. He just has to do his work, and I think if he does that, that will be good for them. So I'm going with Rahul and Nissanka right now. I have an alternate 11 for that, which can be done, but I'll start off with them. At number three, they've got few options. There's obviously Abishek Porel, who's played consistently in the last 2 3 years for them. It's one is that Nitish Rana को उन्होंने trade से लाया, so I think they've given probably him that number three role left-handed as well. So I think I am going with Nitish Rana to start. So I think that is there. Karun Nair का भी एक option है, जो he played a few games for them last year. But apart from that Mumbai innings, which everybody kind of just woke up and realized, okay, he's there, and he got a chance to play in the test team. I think right after that, I mean, obviously he had a great domestic year, but that was the game kind of where he came in and said that, okay, it's not just domestic, I am here and I'm playing against the best bowlers as well, and I know how to score runs. He took on Bumrah and all of that. So Karuna is still there. I don't know, I think he'll be third in that order if it's between him, Nitish Rana and Porel. I think Porel would be the backup to Nitish Rana for now for me. So that's top three. I've got Stubbs at four. Stubbs was playing 5-6 because they didn't have a finisher, and I think that was not his position. So I think he should bat at four. He bats at four for South Africa. He's batted three for South Africa, so he's a kind of a top order player. And I think he's much more than just a finisher, and they have got a finisher now. So Stubbs has to slot at four and put Miller at six. That gives you Axar Patel at five, which is something they've tried and it's worked. So I think that is 4, 5, 6 for me. Stubbs, Axar, and Miller. You already got Axar Patel's 4 overs in that top six. So that allows you to play Ashutosh at seven, and you've got, already a lot of bowling. That, then Vipraj at eight, enough batting depth, another spin bowling option. He doesn't have to bowl a lot because you've got, uh, you know, variety of options. Stubbs also bowls a little, Nitish Rana bowls a little. So I think that is there. Number nine is Aqib Nabi. He can bat as well. Like I said, fast bowler who can hit the long ball. Very good option to have at number 9. Starc is 10, Kuldeep is 11, and I'm playing Natarajan as the impact sub at 12. So I think that is my team. Uh, I think there is another possibility that they might not go with this team, and that being that they don't play Nissanka or Duckett, and they play an Indian opener and they play Abhishek Porel or Prithvi Shaw at the top of the order with Rahul, and then they get the option of playing a foreign fast bowler, which they have three. They've got Jamieson, Ngidi, and Chameera. Apart from Starc, obviously, who's playing. So in तीनों में से एक को खिला पाएंगे वो, and Natarajan, because Natarajan, I mean, they picked him for 10.75 crores before last year, and he played barely 2 3 games at the end of the season. He was injured, and then I think he got fit, but Peterson in an interview said ki there's just no place for him. Then it was later revealed that it was injury, so it was kind of like he didn't get a lot of game time, but they have retained him. That shows that I think he should be the starting, pacer in that team. But if it doesn't work, they've got Mukesh Kumar as well. But yeah, so they basically carry these options. So I think it's, again, like I said, a decent team. The strengths include that they have got a good spin department. Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, both in the Indian setup. It's obviously two good quality bowlers. Kuldeep mystery spin, Akshar with the bat as well, and very economical on his day. So I think Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav. I think not just his day, he's quite economical in general. So I think Akshar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav, that is a major strength to have. बैटिंग डेप्थ इज ऑल्सो देयर. आई थिंक लाइक आई सेड निशंका के लिए तुमने डकेट में एक बैकअप लिया है. दोनों को नहीं खिलाया तो भी आपके पास इनफ इंडियन प्लेयर्स है जो कवर कर सकते हैं. पृथ्वी शॉ है, करुण नायर है, समीर रिजवी है, जो मेरे 11 में थे भी नहीं. तो आई थिंक there's some batting depth there. So I think that obviously works well for them. Apart from that, they've increased a finisher in that team with Miller in. So that is also there. Fast bowling, like I said, there's a lot of depth. Natarajan, Starc, and Auqib Nabi is my three to start. But Natarajan nahi chala, Mukesh Kumar hai. Auqib Nabi ka pehla season hai. So you've got you've covered that up with a few backups here, and I think I think it's a good team. That those strengths, I think they need to play to their strengths. The spin bowlers, and they've got the third spinner as well. Vipraj has also done well last year. So I think in तीनों को के स्पिन के साथ स्टार्क की फास्ट बॉलिंग, if Natarajan clicks, if Akib Nabi clicks, I think they've got a fantastic bowling setup which will add to their strength a lot. So I think that's one of the major strengths that they carry. Apart from the fact that they've built a good backup core team ready in case of anything is not working, they've got options to kind of come and cover up. So I think for that, I think Delhi's done well in the auction, and I think it's a good team. Weaknesses are, I think, some key players form. I think Stark's done well. He had a good Ashes. He played with player of the series, but T20 mein again, it's a different beast altogether. He's got the experience. I'm sure he'll have good games, but he's had the tendency to go for a lot of runs, like a lot of the other bowlers. But with age, I think he's not as economical as he probably was back in the day. Not probably. I mean, I know he isn't. So that is one weakness. Miller ka form, Miller ka fitness is one issue because if he doesn't work, there is no backup there. So that is one weakness. And I think in some areas, some inexperience might be there because Ashutosh, Vipraj, it's not like they knew they played the same role last year, but I think that probably is one weakness that I think is there. If I have to pick, this team is ideally looking like could be their time to get into the playoffs again, but it's like I said, they've been always been that team, and it's always the results have been the same. I think they finished fifth on quite a few occasions. They've been close to qualifying because they're not as bad as the other teams, but they're just not as good to get into that top four. So I hope for them it's not the same this year again, but it could be. But I mean, they've done their job with in the auction. I think quite well. The coaching staff, everybody has I think got enough plenty options to kind of look at what is their strongest team. These are the few options I think, like I said, that they carry, and it's going to come down to who's doing well at that time. Like I said, a lot of these things will depend on how the World Cup goes. World Cup is a big event. उसके बाद IPL आ रहा है, तो World Cup will play a big part in this. So I think उसके बाद ही तुम बोल सकते हो कि कैसे जाएगा कैसे नहीं. But I think for that I feel like they've done well. They've carried options. I hope Shaw plays somewhere and does well just because I want him to do well. Not like a fan or something, but I've seen the quality of the players. I think it would be good to see him do well. Uh, so yeah, I think that's what I feel about Delhi. Again, like it's been every year. It's kind of I don't know, but I mean, it's not like it's not a team that can qualify. It's just that a little bit of a question mark here and there that I feel is there. But if everything clicks, I think it's perfect. So yeah, that's it for Delhi, and I'll do SRH next.